So what really makes a good teacher? You ever wonder about that? Is it just some kind of magic, a personality thing you're born with? Or is it something you can actually learn, something you can get good at? Well, that's what we're going to dig into right now. Let's break down what really goes into great teaching. To get us started, let me tell you a quick story about two third-grade teachers. We'll call them Ellen and Leah. Now, they've got similar students, and they're both doing the exact same assignment on creative writing. But what's happening in their classrooms? Well, it's like night and day. Over in Ellen's room, you can feel the struggle. The kid's writing is short, it's kind of boring. But right next door, in Leah's class, it's buzzing. The kids are all into it, working in groups, writing pages and pages of awesome stories about ninjas and funny family trips. The difference is just staggering. So this gets us to the big question, right? What is Leah doing that Ellen isn't? What's the secret sauce here that takes a classroom from kind of blah to totally brilliant? Is it just some kind of teaching magic? Well, turns out the answer is nope. It's not magic at all. When Ellen finally goes and asks Leah what her secret is, Leah explains that everything she's doing, the group work, how she gets the kids motivated, it's all based on the principles of educational psychology. It's a science, not a superpower. And that idea brings us to a really important point. A lot of people think, hey, if you know your subject really, really well, you'll be a good teacher. But as we're about to see, that's only like half the story. There's this old joke that just nails this point. I mean, of course, you need to know more than your students, right? Knowing your subject matter is non-negotiable. But just knowing something and being able to actually teach it to somebody else, those are two totally different things. And you know what? There's a word for that bridge, the one that connects knowing something to actually teaching it. It's called pedagogy. Think of it as the art and science of teaching. It's not just what you teach, it's how you teach it. And that was Leah's secret weapon. It's this whole set of strategies that turns knowledge into real learning. So what does this pedagogy stuff actually look like? Well, it's a whole bunch of things. It's knowing how to get students excited, how to manage a classroom so it doesn't descend into chaos, figuring out what your students already know before you start, and then communicating ideas in a way that actually sinks in. It's a really complex skill set. Here's a perfect example. You might have heard of the legendary math teacher Jaime Escalante. He didn't just throw formulas at his students. To teach negative numbers, he used an analogy. Dig a hole, he'd say. That's -1. The dirt you took out, that's +1. Put the dirt back in the hole, and you've got 0. So simple, so powerful. That is pedagogy. Yeah, this cartoon is funny, but there's a lot of truth to it. Understanding these ideas about teaching and learning can be the difference between an amazing classroom and, well, total chaos. It's a real, practical toolkit for any teacher. So all these skills we've been talking about, they all point to one thing, the single most important quality of a truly great teacher. And it's not a technique, it's a mindset. It's a way of thinking that guides everything they do. And that mindset is called intentionality. It just means doing things for a reason, on purpose. An intentional teacher is constantly thinking about the goal and asking themselves, how does this decision, this activity, this question get my students closer to that goal? This is exactly what Leah was doing. And what fuels that intentionality? It's this powerful belief called teacher efficacy. At its core, it's the rock-solid belief that your efforts, what you do in the classroom, are the main reason students learn. It's believing that you are the one who makes the difference. And look, this belief, this efficacy, it changes the whole game. A teacher who has it, when they run into a student who's struggling, they don't just throw up their hands. No way. They dig in, they persist, they try something new, and then something else, because they have this deep down belief that their effort is what's going to make the difference. Okay, so an intentional teacher with a strong sense of efficacy has the how figured out. But that leads to the next big question. What are we even teaching for? I mean, the world is changing so fast, and what students need to know is changing right along with it. So here's the way to think about it. You've got 4 big buckets of skills for the 21st century. Of course, you start with the core subjects, but then you build on that with skills like creativity and critical thinking. Then you add in tech skills, knowing how to navigate our media-saturated world. And finally, you've got these crucial life and career skills like taking initiative. This is the toolkit students really need today. All right, we've gone through a lot here, from pedagogy to being intentional. Let's pull it all together now and finally answer that question we started with. We started this whole thing wondering if great teachers are born or made. We saw the huge difference between Ellen's classroom and Leah's. So what's the verdict? After looking at all this, can good teaching actually be taught? The answer is a clear, absolute yes. That magic we see in a great teacher, it isn't magic. It's a set of skills and a type of mindset that anyone can learn, practice, and master. So here it is, the recipe for great teaching. You start with knowing your stuff, your subject. Then you add that layer of teaching skill, your pedagogy. You guide it all with that intentional mindset. And you fuel the whole thing with a powerful belief in your own efficacy, the belief that you are the one who makes it happen. And that really leaves us with one final thought. Teachers make a crazy number of decisions every single hour of the day. Knowing all this stuff doesn't give you a magic formula, but it does give you a compass. So the real question isn't if you'll be making decisions, it's what's going to guide them.